I'm a homeschool mom of 7, and I want to share some of the activities that I've learned about phonemic awareness based in the science of reading. We've implemented all these activities in our homeschool and found them to be incredibly helpful and transferred directly to reading instruction. I love sharing what I've learned with you, and hopefully it will make your reading instruction even more efficient and enjoyable. I will link other videos below, but this one is about phonemic awareness activities. These activities involve blending, manipulating, and substituting sounds. You'll pull apart words, put them back together, and plug sounds in and out. It's basically playing with words, and it's an essential skill for your kids to learn how to read efficiently and effectively. Kids as young as 2 and 3 can begin with phonological sensitive activities such as rhyming. Mother Goose books are great. Incorporating rhyming activities during your day is excellent, or simply reading Mother Goose stories together. When my kids were little, every time I did a diaper change, I would try to do a Mother Goose rhyme. Drawing kids' attention to words having beginning, middle, and ending sounds is helpful. I would sing words in pairs of 3, like top, toe, tall, top, toe, tall. What's the sound they start with? Top, toe, tall. Beginning sounds are the easiest for a child to isolate. After that, the ending sound and the middle vowel sound is the most difficult. Adjacent consonants are even more difficult. Slick without ol is sick. Making your voice sound like a roller coaster, such as Matt. What's the sound you hear in the middle of Matt? Or punch out the last sound to draw the child's attention to it. What's the last sound you hear in jump?
Bat. Bird.
Saying 4 words with 3 having the same beginning sound and 1 having a different sound, and having the child distinguish which one's different can also be helpful. Phoneme substitution can be fun even when you're just playing in the sandbox or on the trampoline. Say cat, now change k to What do you have? Rat. Or you can play with the ending sound. Say cat, change t to p. What do you have? Cap. The middle sound would be most difficult. Say cat, change a to ah. What do you have? Caught. More difficult would be say line instead of I, say o. Lone. Say breeze instead of b, say t, trees. You can also do deletion, such as say bolt. Don't say ul. The word is boat. You can also do phonemic activities with addition, where you're adding a sound. Say sick, add t after s. The word is stick. You can also scaffold this with objects that you have around, such as j, a, m, p, k, o, l, t. Say b, o, l, t. Now don't say ul, it's b, o, t. Good. Say arm.
Arm.
Edge to the beginning.
Charm.
Say
We already did charm.
of.
Arm.
Edge to the beginning.
Shove.
Say est. Edge to the beginning.
Kiss.
Good. Say shell
Shell.
without sh.
L.
Say third without th. Say share. So you've got ache, ache. Let's put a f at the beginning.
A. Fake.
Fake. Good. Now let's put a at the beginning of ache. You got it. Make. All right. How about let's put a t at the beginning of ache.
Take.
Haggerty is a phonemic awareness program that is used in classrooms. It's very succinct, 10-minute activities every day. It focuses on manipulation of phonemes with deletion, addition, and substitution. This is another book that I have with a lot of phonemic awareness activities. However, this is a free program that's online at sightwords.com. If you look under phonemic awareness, they have over 110 activities, and I simply printed them out. They guide you through some of these things that we were talking about and make it very simple. However, recent research has shown that some of the things that they talk about at the beginning, which is onset rhyme and syllable identification, is not actually necessary, and you can jump straight to the phonemic level with printed phonemes. I worked through these activities with our 6-year-old twins, and although we did find it really fun, I found a much more efficient method, which I use with my 4-year-old, and I'm going to introduce that to you. It's Switch It. Research has shown that tying the printed letter to the phoneme as early as possible is a more efficient use to use with phonemic awareness activities.
We're going to change soft to loft. A loft is a tall bed or a tall room. Loft. Nice. Good job. Okay, we're going to change loft to lost. Lost. I got lost in the woods. Nailed it. Good job. Okay, we're going to change lost to cost. It cost a lot of money. Nice. Cost. Now we're going to change cost to cast. Like if you break your arm, you put a cast.
Sticky letters.
That's right, it's sticky vowels. Stick a word together. Cast. Very good.
Oh, it's like he cast his fishing pole.
That's right. That's exactly right. Cast the line.
I would highly recommend you go to readingsimplified.com and download your free packet. It comes with the tiles and also the word list. It's free and it's incredibly powerful. It really is a brain workout for the kids. You can even start this with kids that don't know any of their letter names like we did with our 4-year-old. You start with build it, where you just put 3 letters out and you hold the sounds out. Mop. What do you hear in mop? What's the first sound out of your mouth in mop? And if they don't know the letter M, you can simply point to the letter M and say, this makes the sound mm. After a few days of this, they really start to understand how to map sounds to print because it's such an integrated activity. You're going to left to right, and you're also integrating it in the letters into words rather than just introducing letters in isolation. We had done a lot of letter sound introductions such as apple, butterfly, cow, and dinosaur. And we had watched Letter Factory videos where the A says ah, and had preschool prep letter sound books, so she could see the S with the snake around it and say that it made the S. But if you saw it in isolation just as a printed S, she wouldn't know that it made the sound S until we actually did the Switch It game for a few days, and then she really started to make the connection. You can also search for David Kilpatrick 1-minute activities and find these online to give you ideas as well. Once kids have a good understanding of the print relationship to the phoneme, then progressively moving to a more abstract level where the student is abstractly manipulating nonsense words in their mind only really helps to solidify the orthographic mapping and aids fluency. So it's recommended even after a child becomes a better reader to continue just 4 or 5 of these words or even a 1-minute activity with manipulation of these words in an oral-only context will help to keep these skills fresh and aid their ability to read. Until these activities became more natural for me, I would actually write them in the books that we would be reading while we're snuggled up on the couch to remind me to look at the toad and say, what sound do you hear at the beginning of toad? Let's rhyme with toad. Toad, road, sewed, mowed. What else on this page starts with t? What sounds do you hear in toad? T, o, d. When segmenting a word, try to make the sounds very crisp and clean. You don't want to add a schwa sound at the end, the sound, so you don't want to say mat is m-a-t, because when you try to put that together, that doesn't say m-at. It says m-a-t. So phonemic awareness activities involve segmenting, where you're breaking the word into its parts, into its sounds, like m-at. The further apart you separate those sounds, the more difficult it is for the kid. So as they get more advanced, you can say, I'm going to say a word, see if you can guess what it is. K, p, and see if they can get it. Blending is the activity where you put the sounds together to make a word. The continuous sounds like are easier than the stop sounds like p. So it's easier to draw out, okay, I'm going to talk like a turtle. What word am I saying? Map. What's the word? Map. And the manipulating is what we've been talking about with switch it. Changing slip to slap, to clap, to clam, or word chaining. In the early years, we do a lot of playing with letters, but we don't use the letter names. We use the letter sounds. Letter names are important later, but the priority is the letter sound because that's what's going to aid them in reading. If they learn that the name is H, it sounds like H. And so when they're trying to sound out ought, it can just be confusing. W sounds like it starts with D. So the names are important, but we just defer those until later after we've introduced the sounds first and the kid is well established with reading. It's common in other countries to introduce letter sounds first. It's just in English we've kind of gotten that flipped. So this is the progression of the phonemic awareness activities becoming more increasingly difficult as you add more consonants at the beginning and the end. It's harder for kids to hear and manipulate.
Plain. Don't say n.
Play.
Perfect. Say clash.
Clash.
Don't say ol.
Clash. Ash. Cash.
Play with the sounds as you walk. Look at the k. Putting a longer pause between the segments makes it even more difficult. What is tree without T. I love you so. Ch. Can you guess what I'm holding behind my back? It's n. Playing with sounds with phonemic awareness transfers directly to reading. EA can say A in steak, A in head, or E in meat. An emerging reader might read this word, heed. Oh, head. They plug in one sound and then another to fit the context. During my reading lesson with the kids, I usually do a few minutes of the phonemic awareness activities or switch it, and then I move on to word work. Word work integrates spelling and handwriting and helps the kids to orthographically map words so that they can become more efficient, fluent readers. Phonemic awareness activities are both fun and useful as it directly transfers to reading. I'm happy to share the things that I've found helpful over the past 17 years of teaching my kids how to read, as well as the research that I found interesting in the science of reading. I will link more videos below. May you find joy and fulfillment as you and your child journey on learning to read together.